I'm Heidi Scary, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself and my books today. So, many years ago, I had a very interesting dream. It was like watching an action packed movie like Star Wars, a futuristic one and in full color. And when I woke up in the morning, I told my husband about it. And I said, well, I got to write this down. So he watched our three young children as I wrote it down. Well, the next day was Christmas, and so he was home again, and the dream had continued right where it left off. So I wrote down that dream as well. Well, the third night I had another dream, yet another one, and it picked up again where they one left off, the same characters and plot. And again, I wrote it down in the morning. Well, then my husband went to work for 3 days, 4 days. And then the next weekend was another 3 day weekend. It was New Year's Eve. And again, the dream picked right up where it left off. And I wrote it down in the morning. And that happened the next night. And the next night I had the final episode, or what do you want to call it, of the movie came to a conclusion. And I woke up in the morning, I told my husband about it and wrote it down, and I had a 90-page of dream journal writing down this story. And I said, well, this is such a good story, I would like to learn how to write a novel. And so I did. I wrote the first book, Star Writer on the Razor's Edge. Well, I got an agent, but I wasn't able to get it published. But I kept writing, and I wrote a whole series of books. They just kind of flowed through after the first one. But I wasn't able to get it published, so then I wrote some single title books, and I got one published by a small publisher, Star Writer, Red Willow's Quest, about a Native American girl studying to become a medicine woman. Well, the book that I just finished this year is in the Star Writer series, and it's called Call of the Wind, and it's about it's Behmen and Fawn's story, and it's written as a story within a story, where Behmen is in prison telling his story to his cellmate, and he's been sentenced to be executed in 5 days. He's been accused of being a spy, and he's a fighter pilot who was shot down on a distant planet, fortunately close to the planet's surface, and he jettisons out, and he's landed in enemy territory where he's hidden for a while, but then he is able to, he's rescued, but he's when he decides that he wants to try to return to his unit, he's betrayed by a neighbor and arrested and thrown in prison. So his story that he's telling is a love story about he and Fawn, and they had fallen in love, but she finds out on her 15th birthday that she was engaged at birth to a foreign prince. She accepts his fate, but Behmen doesn't, and he's upset, and at 16 joins the military and becomes a fighter pilot. So the story has some fantasy elements. I know a lot of you are fantasy readers. That there's a sorcerers, and Behmen has special abilities that he uses to fight their magic and their spells. So I also wanted to tell another short story about my uncle Bart, and he was the person that I based the idea of a shot down pilot, because he was shot down in World War II. His plane was shot down over Germany, and they made it, destroyed I think one of the engines. They made it over to Holland, where they had a crash landing in a field, and the local resistance did hide them until the end of the war in Europe. So I think that you might really enjoy this book, Call of the Wind. I really enjoyed writing it, and I'm in the middle of almost publishing the second book, which will be the fifth book in the series, but the second half of this story about Behmen and Fawn, and that'll come out this summer, Call of the Eagle. And I also wanted to let you know that If you want to want a free short story, my website is Heidi Scary Author, and you can go to that, and if you sign up for the newsletter, you'll get the free short story, and you can also find my books on Amazon. And I hope that you will all wish you good luck on winning the contest. Thank you so much for listening.